Hi, everyone. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 11 of Fabrically Speaking Live. I'm Clare Rowley, your host, and the inventor of the Creative Feet products that I use when I go live. And today is part 2 of a 2-part series on my Sunflower Rising pillow pattern. So if you didn't catch last week's live feed, you will find that in both my Facebook feed and also on my YouTube channel. And this is the pillow front. So today I'm going to go ahead and teach you how to turn this into an actual pillow. Now in the video from last week, I did not teach how I added all of my trims onto this, but there are many videos within my YouTube channel showing you how to sew trims on using the Creative Feet. Please introduce yourself in the feed, and I look forward to hearing the things that you have to say. And know that this is an exciting day for us at Creative Feet because we've just launched a brand new website. And if you guys haven't been there yet, our website is creativefeet.com. And when you go there, it's going to look different than it did the last time. There's something missing here. Okay, there we go. I'm going to actually share my screen. We'll see how this goes, you guys. And here we go. It's not sharing according to what I see. Oh. And let's turn that off. And ta-da! I will get better at this. I'm just so grateful I can share my screen because I couldn't before. So if you go to creativefeet.com, you will, this is the home page. So it looks totally different. And because it is different, if you already have a profile created at our past Creative Feet site, you will need to create a new one. I'm so sorry about that. And because of that, we're offering 15% off, as you see at the top of the page here. CF 15 off. And that is all the way through April Fool's Day, April 1st. If you don't know, April Fool's Day is April 1st. And if you wouldn't mind, we are having a contest or a giveaway. We're giving away some $100 gift cards to our site. If you participate in adding testimonials or reviews is what they're called. And thank you for those of you who've already done this. The site only officially opened the day before yesterday, so it's really new. And this is March 18th of 2021 if you're watching this on the replay. And down on the bottom, your comments come up, and that helps other people appreciate or find out more. I can't believe all of you have done this. And by the way, I actually need to use a tissue when I come in here because you guys are so sweet. The things that you're writing are very moving to me. And if you've ever tried to buy thread before and know how frustrating it is to try to find your colors, I think you'll be really pleased with the work that my son has done to make this super easy to choose your threads. This is the thread that I use for the applique. Not only do you get to see all the colors, but you know how much inventory we have. So if you want 3 of one color but only need 2, it won't hold up your order if you order just 2 today. And then see how neat that is? You can just slide over and it shows you the different colors of threads. And you can make that really big. See how big that is? So you can match your colors to the fabric that you have. And for those of you who have yet to find your way to my school, because I'm always talking about that, Create with Clare Rowley is the actual school. And if ever you get lost and you want to find your way back to the website, the top left-hand corner, that groovy bus, you click on that and it takes you back to the website. So you can flip back and forth from the school to creativefeet.com with ease. Inside of Clare Rowley or Create with Clare Rowley is a variety of different groups that you can join. So you click on creator groups and it will take you to the Fabrically Speaking live group. And this is a lot for my cell phone. I'm so surprised it's able to handle it. So now we're in the groups and Fabrically Speaking Live is the show. And inside of there, you can post comments about the show afterward and ask questions and participate by showing pictures of your finished work. I think this is a lot for my poor little cell phone. Yep, I think that I'm going to stop sharing my screen and give my little old cell phone a break. But you can see here, this is today's class. I announce it in here, and then Sandy already posted a statement, and then I respond. So it's the best way to reach me. And I'm going to actually close out of here. And I think I'm actually going to sign out of that so that you guys don't have to sit there and deal with the lagging, and my verbalness is not as good when I'm trying to learn something new at the same time. So, all right. I've been up since 6, been ready to go live until the internet just wouldn't work. And just so you know, if you've enjoyed the show up till now, you're going to enjoy it a lot more, because the entire time I thought we were wired and we weren't, because there was a setting in the computers that I had not switched. So while I thought we were live, we were actually using wireless the whole time for the show. So next week, because they're going to come out and fix our internet issue tomorrow, next week we should be hardwired and there shouldn't be any lagging in the cameras or the microphone. So thank you for your patience as you've watched Fabrically Speaking evolve into the show it is now. And I'm going to look in the comments really quick as I clear away all this mess and actually be able to teach you something today. You should have seen the mess on my table just 15 minutes ago. It always feels good to know that you guys are with me. Hi, Cynthia, Tina, Larry, hi, you made it. Oh no, someone's actually trying to call my phone. Sandy, Lorinda, Brenda. Hey, by the way, this is Whatever You Want Claire to Sew Saturday, 11 a.m. my time. And I'm the same time as California now, because Arizona never changes our clocks, for those of you who don't know that. Hi, Sandy Flynn and Brenda Foley and Better Days, also known as Amy. I can't believe I'm able to do this with a cell phone. All right, we're almost done. Hi, Sandy Young. We got lots of Sandys. I had 3 Sandys in one day order on our site. Marsha Morgan, hello. Thank you guys for being so patient as I am getting ready to start. No sound issues fixed. Eva, hello, Eva. If you're all still here, you are troopers. And Ellen. We had snow the day before yesterday. Today I'm like, it's hot. Welcome to spring. And Cynthia Purdue, I think I already said hi. Those of you who are watching for the first time, Today is a technical difficulty day. Hi, Sharon Kaysen. All right. So for those of you who are part of the VIP group, I hope you got something to really challenge me for Saturday, because the last month I was challenged by making a handle for a purse on the spot, and that was so much fun for me. I enjoy it a lot, by the way, in case you think that you're putting me through something to have me do something during the live. I don't mind at all. I love it when you guys challenge me. And I love how you guys all know each other now. Hi, Sally from Australia. One day I'm going there. I am. Okay. And I hope you all have snacks, because today's a different schedule. No one starved themselves. And I have had food, so I'm okay. Somehow I managed to eat. Got all kinds of tools out, not the normal sewing tools. Okay, so I didn't even have a chance to cut the pattern or cut the pieces out, which to most of you is no surprise lately anyway. But just know this, the new website has, in essence, eliminated about 60% of the work that I had to do with regards to orders. So I'm going to have a lot more time to prepare for each show. Each week, it should get better and better. Should I do this size cord, you guys? This is a 1/4 inch width cord. Have any of you ever tried sewing a cord that thick? And even with our pearls and piping foot, a lot of times people don't realize that they can even sew it. Sorry about that. Yeah, it felt good to be quiet for a minute. So if you look at this, you'll see that the foot itself cannot even sit. Let me switch to this. So see how that doesn't sit there? Or it doesn't sit on it? In other words, I can actually slide scissors beneath it. So you may not think that you can sew that, but you can. And I need to make my cord because I didn't get a chance to make it. For some reason, this top camera. I'm going to try one more time to bring this other camera on for the top. Otherwise, it's going to be kind of boring. Come on, angels. Let this work. Please, please. I think it's going to work, you guys. One, two, three, count. Yay! So we want this one. Oh my goodness. We're actually running a show now. Okay, so talking about piping, some people call it welting, and that is a correct statement as well. As this is cording that is turned into piping or welting. Oh, we got two mics going. Sorry. No more echo. Should be all gone. I'm going to grab a fabric I just bought. What do you think? Should I make that the back of the pillow instead of the upholstery? Or should I match the back to the front? Give me your opinion. I want your opinion. Okay, I gotta move that camera. Still echo? Now the front camera is not on again. This is just not working today. Frustrating. It smells. It sounds a bit better. Camera's gone. I don't know what's going on with that other camera or with the setup today. So it'll be just this and the machine, unless you guys are willing to go through another minute while the other camera starts. So what we need to do is we need to make piping. And the amount of piping or amount of fabric that I need to make it would be 4 times 1 actual side. Static. Hold on while I try another connection. Oh, it's terrible. I may the alternative is for me just to not be live today. Why is that happening? Do anything to deserve this? Sorry, I'm being quiet, you guys. Okay, so this is the one. Well, this is what live is all about. Yeah. This other camera is just not wanting to be on. All right, one more try. All right, it's going to work, you guys. Come on. It's like it's just being frustrating. Oh, I didn't click what I thought I did. This is the glass that you guys are talking about. Ooh, you can hear the sound of that. So with the glass on top of your Caterpillar tablet, you can actually cut and iron directly on it. Ta-da, 3 cameras. Crossing fingers it will continue. And I'm going to go back to this one and remove the glass because I'm going to cut on it and discuss. Uh-oh. Gosh darn it. It's a comedy of errors. Oh my goodness. I'm thinking next week will be perfect, you guys. So did you guys agree on this being the back? Pardon my reach. This is if I remember correctly, a 16-inch pillow. The pattern is inside of the school. Yeah, 16-inch. Don't give up. You love this fabric, so do I. That's why I bought the rest of what was on the bolt. I'm thinking that's going to be nice for whatever I do for my living room, because my living room is going to have a sunflower theme for this spring season. And for those of you who have not seen or didn't see this a little better, you can see the additions that I did to this. And I did that just because I needed to do some photography for our new website launch. I wouldn't recommend putting this type of trim on a pillow because it can snag people's clothing and pull your hair. But it's my house, so I'm creative feet. So I need to cut 2 pieces, even though this is just the back of the pillow. 2 16-inch pieces. What company is what from, Sandy? The trim? Oh, you want to know the fabric? Duh. All right, well, I went to Joann's. I spent almost $400 there the other day. They should have a salvage on here. Uh-oh. Tell you what, if they don't, I will go back to Joann's and find out. No matter what, I'll find out. I should be able to search that, and I'll put it in this school on today's lesson. Now, there's fastest way to make sure it's going to fit is to just use your pillow top, which I already squared as my top. And I'm going down toward where the selvage is for this cut, because up here it's a fold, so whatever I don't use is actually twice as big, so I'm more likely to use that. And then I'm going to just use a ruler and my rotary cutter and cut this. Sounds like a little static again. Why are you giving us static? My energy is too intense today, I think. And it acted like the broadcast had ended. Oh man. You guys still there? This is the strangest day. Can you guys give me a thumbs up if you can hear me and everything? I have to be out of my cell phone. You guys are all talking, and so I can't hear myself. Just let me know if it gets wonky, and I'll do my best to keep my eye on the feed. Everything's good to go. I don't know what is going on. So if you don't have a Caterpillar Light tablet, we have them on our website. Remember, that coupon is a good size coupon. It allows you to light things up. When you need it. It comes with a cutting board with lines already on it to help you line things up, which I could use and use brain cells to cut a 18-inch square, but instead I'm just going to use the pillow top that I cut last week as my pattern. Didn't cut it very straight. Okay, good. This is the most bizarre live yet. Can you get up there, Tink? Oh, she can't get on her spot. I moved something. There. Now try, baby. Okay. Get up there now. Try. There you go. Oh, my. I even disrupted Tinkerbell. We can't do that. What is going on? Oh, I already cut it. It's so weird because it looked like the actual whole feed went down. All of a sudden, my phone started playing the replay, but that doesn't normally happen until it's over. So Larry is on YouTube. So when you're on YouTube, Larry, down where you see the chat, there's like it's not bright, but there's a smiley face. It's kind of like a gray smiley face. And then you click on that and that opens up the ability to participate with emojis. You should also see a $sign for any of you who'd like to support our show with a super chat. Here we go. I think I'm going to switch to the front camera for this. Because this is one of those times when it's better to stand up and look down while you're cutting. Are any of you sewing along with me today? Because sometimes people do. I always find that impressive. I don't want to cut the ends of my sequins off because we pull off those sequins and have that string stay in the seam allowance so that they don't come loose ever. There we go. I'm going to want to cut off the bottom just to be sure. Thumbs up if you've actually done the pillow top already. Last week's show, I had the pattern ready before the show even started, so there would be no reason or excuse for you guys not to have participated last week other than your life got in the way. So are any of you wondering why I'm cutting 2 backs for 1 pillow? Look at all this fabric I got. If I leave it on the floor, it'll be a few minutes before Tinkerbell will be digging in it and making it into her bed. And what about the butterfly? One of you posted your butterfly and or a butterfly. It wasn't my pattern, but another one. And if I can remember who it was really impressive. You did order the smaller cutter pillar? Yeah, this is the Ultra. This is the big one. And obviously I have all 3. The difference between them is the premium has a battery backup so that you can actually sit on your couch and draw and sketch things out. You have up to 4 hours. That's the keyboard falling on the floor beneath me. It's a good thing it's able to be turned off and on. I feel like I just cut this completely wrong. This must not be square. You sure you want to take lessons from me today, you guys? All right, so what I'm going to do is fold this fabric. How many of you remember how to tell right from wrong? I need to pull this up because I can't see it well enough. And all of a sudden the front camera looks blurry. Not sure if it does to you guys. Oh, it's on that screen. So I need to move my snack. I have a snack on my table so I don't get too hungry. I'm getting smarter. So, okay, you're welcome. The beading is different. If you're hand beading, yes, it'll be the same. You want to have a long string, tie a knot at the end, but on the pearls, no, you don't need to extend out that far. I have rhinestones as well on here, and when I get to the sewing around part, you'll see how I handle that. Boy, all of a sudden you guys typed a lot. I think I'm going to minimize this one. So I only have one to look at. Okay. So how can we make a pillow backing that doesn't require a zipper, that can also be pulled off and washed after you're done sewing your pillow? Is that we take 2 times the back and we're going to fold the fabric back and stitch it so that it extends over like 3/4 of the back of the pillow. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're folding under. It's been a while, so I'm going to need to think it through here. Pretty sure that's what I did. Fold under about 4 inches on both sides. And then you bring them together until they become your 18-inch overall size. So this would be a time to iron, and I have my pressing board. What's really neat about this is you can really do whatever size you want. You can add Velcro. You could add a button to where these two overlap one another. But whatever amount you decide to overlap, because we slide the pieces over to form the 18-inch overall piece, you don't really have to be exact on both sides, if that makes any sense. And I'm ordering a couple different little irons. To test, and I'll let you guys know. Like I had mentioned prior, once the new site opened up, we would be actually able to add more products to creativefeet.com quicker. In this case, I'm using Steam. But I didn't determine which side was right and which side was wrong. That's what I was going to ask you guys. Do you guys remember how to tell? Go across grain and stretch, and you can see how it's concaving. So this is the wrong side. So I was correct in pressing that up because this will be the underneath. Got a little weird, like almost ruching thing going on here. Like it was on a hanger or something. All right. Love seeing you guys chatting with one another. Remember, it's across the grain when you're trying to determine which side's right and which side's wrong. So if you know which side is your selvage, and this is my selvage, see how it goes? It bows under. What you need to realize is it's where the thumb is that determines which way it's concaving. So if your thumb pushes it, this side rises, but it's where your thumb is where it just kind of drops in to show you that that is the wrong side. Okay. Gosh, I love this fabric. I ended up going about 3 inches instead of 4. I think I'm going to do a couple of round pillows out of just this with maybe the upholstery fabric as a piping, or maybe one side upholstery and the other side this, but just, or maybe the ends upholstery and the top the sunflower. Oh my goodness. You know what? I think I might do all of that. I'm going to have some fun with my living room for sure. So much fun to sew, isn't it? To be able to just totally change your living room because you feel like it. I know one of the members, Larry, has done the beading. She has a Bible cover that she sewed. And she's handicapped or has a physical challenge, so she can't really participate in the chats. She has a hard time keeping up with it. But I'm sure as the testimonials grow on the site, you'll be seeing more and more people that have used the feet for beads. And if we have time, I don't know, today's such a rough day for me. I am going to be doing some bridal work coming up here soon before we get to May, or maybe starting in May for the June weddings. And I'll be doing some beads, some projects to inspire you guys to use the pearls and piping foot. So if I tried to put a pillow inside of here, I would not be able to get to the pillow. It's too far. It's way too big. This piece is way too big. So I'm going to bring it over and go reasonably about there. But the bigger the overlap, the less likely your pillow is to show when it's closed. I think what it is I used to do that, the size overlay I said. All right. Yeah, so a 6-inch overlap between the two folded under edges. And having it be double folded is not bad, not a bad idea. It gives it more body when it's this fabric. I'm going to take this to the sewing machine and sew this down so that it doesn't lift up. But if you wanted to, you could get a big button and have the button be on this side, or the buttonhole here, and put the button on here and have it actually button on the back side. I did cover buttonholes in the Minky Dog Sweatshirt segment of Fabrically Speaking. If you haven't caught that and you are nervous about doing buttonholes, should check it out. And I don't know if you're having any audio interference if you guys don't tell me, because I'm no longer able to be watching. So my hair's in the shot. That's not good. And move this a little bit this way. Maybe a little down. What did I just do? I hit something that made it zoom in. Uh-oh. Close your eyes, you guys. This is a zoom camera, so what did I hit? I made it zoom in more. Well, my goodness. It should be able to zoom out more than that. Well, it's because it's today, right? What did I hit? Well, my. Doesn't get any bigger than that. I'm not using this foot, though. I'm going to switch cameras really quick. Why does it do that? Can you guys help me? I'm just kidding. Come on. There. What did I do to you? Unbelievable. All right. Fixing that other camera because I made it too close. Come on. Why isn't it on? Come on. There you go. I'll tell you what, you guys. This is a learning day. You guys are very patient. This is something I need to remember to tell StreamYard, that every time you add a camera, it goes into the split screen. I'm back. Okay. This is the one I want. Oh, I did take a picture and I was going to share this with you guys. Let me share the other side of the machine that I can't show when I'm going live. So see the hand wheel there at the top of the waterfall? For those of you who want to know how to sew a zipper in case you want to sew a zipper instead, I do have my bridesmaids lesson. It's a free video on my YouTube channel. And I believe, yeah, the pattern is something that you purchase through creativefeet.com. And it's a great thing to make money from for those of you, because I know there's several of you that are planning to make money. These are I made for my daughter's wedding. And there are the girls wearing their bridesmaids purses and my beautiful daughter in the middle. So I don't know if I said this or not, but you can win money, because I was so stressed when I was showing you my website. You can win money by doing reviews. We're giving away some $100 gift cards. May 1st is when we'll be announcing the winners. The more you enter, the better your chances are to win. Another new addition to creativefeet.com is Beyond the Stitches, my blog, where I can now write articles. Some of you have asked me to write articles about needles and thread and things like that. And this is where we will be doing that. So all of you, even if you're not in the school, can participate. I hope you like the changes that we're making, and once the cameras are all hardwired, things are going to be a lot better here. So the first thing we're going to do is switch to the Satinedge Foot. If you don't have our Satinedge Foot, you can use any foot that you have to help you sew a stitch called an edge stitch. And this is the Satinedge Foot. It's a foot that I created for a blind and deaf sewer, which was written about in this month's blog. I shouldn't say this month because I may do more than one a month. I don't know. My son's in charge. I don't know if I like this color thread for the sunflower pillow for the stitching. Oh, it is what I used, the applique. But if I sew right now, my bobbin thread is the nylon lingerie thread because that's what I used for last week's lesson, the lingerie thread in the bobbin. It's a very strong thread, but you know, it's not going to complement this pillow like the thread is that I used. And this is it. More rusty color. Feel free to ask questions as I am live. Keep on keeping on. I'll tell you what, this show has been a testament to my ability to conform or to adjust to different situations. And I never want to not be live, but I am going to create a video in case I don't go live one day for reasons unbeknownst to me. So that won't be dead air. And then I can possibly watch with you live, which I'll let you guys know if that ever happens. So far, I would think that today would have been the day. Can't believe I'm using my cell phone for this. And normally I would use my cell phone to join in. But since I'm not doing that, oh no, I can't. The cell phone's doing too much. So what I have done is I've selected a straight stitch, and I'm going to have the straight stitch be a certain distance away from this folded edge. So however far away the needle and wire are from one another is the distance you'll sew away from the edge of your material. And then you just rely on the foot, and you could also use our glue, especially if you have physical challenges. The sunflower pillow is a free pattern inside of the Fabrically Speaking Live group inside of my Create with Clare Rowley site. Its link is at the top of this and in the description. So in the top of the live chat. So I've just kind of pinned without pinning, and that fabric is held down so that I can now gently just push toward the foot without having to watch the sewing machine needle. So I can go relatively fast on this because nothing will move as long as I don't move. Notice my hand is stationary. I don't move along with the fabric. If you find yourself doing this as you sew, you're actually likely to be contorting the fabric or making the fabric feed faster than the machine is set to do. So, and the reason I don't have to watch while I'm sewing is I can just push toward the foot, and it pushes back where the guide is inside of the foot. And this is why people call this the magic foot, because you can magically, watch TV while your sewing machine is doing the sewing for you, as long as you don't try to over control the fabric. We don't need to secure the end because we're going to insert it into the seam. So this is 1/2 of the back of the pillow, and it has a beautiful stitch on the top and no evidence that I have no idea what I was going to say. I don't think we need you, so we'll let you turn off. I wish there was a way to turn off that alarm. What is your question? Putting fabric on tulle and then heavy stitching. That would be a good one for our stick and knit stabilizer when we get that back in stock. You can always share stuff like that with me, Larry, inside the school or email, and I can add or create something with it. I think I want one to overlap a little bit more than that. So I don't like seeing the pillow form at all. So I am going to have this side just be a single fold instead of a double fold. And this is the one that will go beneath. Now notice that the majority of the fabric is on this side now. And on the other one, the majority of the fabric was over here. So if I turn this around, I can sew this way, but I kind of like to show you that you can use both sides of the guide. So now in this instance, I'm going to have the guide be to the right or to the left of the needle, and have the needle be to the right. Has that audio interference stayed away? I like the Satinedge Foot. It makes me look like I'm the best sewer ever. So now I just push, instead of pushing this way, now I'm going to push this way, utilizing the right side of the guide. And we'll get an equal control. Notice this hand stays stationary, pushing from the right towards the left instead of left toward right. And this time I didn't glue it. It is pressed though. So I'm gently using this middle finger to guide or to as a guide for the other side of the fabric to prevent it from going too far. And we have an accurate edge stitch all along that, even though it's only one layer folded over. I'm getting my groove back, you guys. Okay, so we want this to measure 18 inches. It's, I feel like I need another table. I need one big giant horseshoe table around me. So it's 16 inches, by the way, not 18. But we can use the pillow on the bottom to be sure that we're right. And now you could pin this and clip it, or you can use our liquid-based and actually glue the entire distance that we're overlapping. That's too big of an overlap. That's right, I forgot I had this so I'm going to just cut off some on the other end. Because there's a limit to how much your fabric can stretch while you shove that big pillow form in. So I think we'll take it, and I'm pretty sure that that's 5 inches. Yeah, it's 5 inches overlap in case you want to do exactly what I'm doing here. And just to make sure that this little loop here doesn't cause any problems, I'm going to close it. And then slide your finger across. And then lay your fabrics over that and gently slide your fingers across again to secure that. And we don't want to close this up because this is where we're going to insert our pillow form. A lot of times the pillow forms that are the covers that they make for beds, they just don't give you enough of an overlap, and then your pillow can kind of come out. Everything was already pressed, so I shouldn't need to press. One end is going to be cut, and it's going to be the other end. Once again, make sure that it is a 5-inch overlap. I hope they don't ring the doorbell. I forgot to put our "Don't ring the doorbell, we're filming live" sign on our door. And here we go. Isn't the Caterpillar wonderful? I love them and they love me. They're like, "We really appreciate you showing it all the time." I'm like, I don't even know how I lived without it. So remove this iron. And I still have to make my piping. There go the scissors. Nope, those were my glasses. Next week's going to be perfect. It's just got to be. Thank you, Sandy, for this wonderful way to keep my scissors and my glasses handy. Then we can just flip this over and use our pillow to square that off. And it wouldn't be in keeping with today if it weren't off, to show you just how poorly I did. And with the Caterpillar, actually, I could have this be beneath this fabric and then see it through it. Okay, does anybody know where? Oh, there it is. Where I put this. I'm so excited to add all these new products that I've been waiting to add to our site. One of them is the piping ruler, so that you can cut your piping fabric after you sew your piping in to your material and have it be the right size for quilts. Know that I have not forgotten. So I want to tuck this under because I don't want to cut my sequins. So yeah, if you had the smaller Caterpillar, you wouldn't be able to have a 16-inch pillow laid out like I am here. And I know you can't see that the whole pillow is able to fit on it, but it measures 18 inches in the actual lit area, 18 inches by 24 inches. Excuse me. And the other ones are half that size. They're the size of the glass that you see here. And the glass allows you to actually ink right on it over with your design beneath it. And for those of you who aren't familiar with it, you can see that I have my pattern underneath the pad. And they have another pad called Edge to Edge, which if you have the Ultra and did not know, they recently released the Edge to Edge mat for the Ultra. So I can remove the lined pad. And now this is still a pad that I can cut on. And I have not yet cleaned off my tablet. I accidentally wrote on it with a Sharpie marker on when I embroidered a butterfly. So you see I can cut right through that as well. This tablet is designed for the pressure that you apply when you use your cutting utensils. We're not sewing, we're eating. Okay. Does anybody need a snack? We could do a commercial break. So now I want to sew these two pieces together, except for I don't just want that. I also want piping. Just like that, it would be really pretty though, wouldn't it? But that would be too short for Claire's live feed. They always run longer than just an hour and 20 minutes. I don't have my fabric already picked out, do I? Whoops. I've spilled. Are you guys having fun despite all the chaos today? If you are, do a thumbs up. So I'm going to use this big piping. I could, or I could do small cording and do a multiple piping today. I think I'm going to stick with one. It's still challenging to do this large size piping. But what fabric should I use? Should I use the darker color or should I use the lighter color? Which one? Dark or light? Tell me in the chat. Help me decide. Because today I'm having challenge keeping my brain on straight. And I know that I don't have a long enough piece to go all the way around this without bringing my fabrics together to piece, or like we do with binding, to make them a continuous strip. So I'm going to show you how we handle that as well. Thumbs up is not dark or light. Light is you're agreeing with me on the light. I think I may have enough fabric for that. Let's see. Yeah, I should have enough. But I'm going to have to piece it 4 times because it's so small. All right. So if this is bigger than that, then all I have to do is cut 4 pieces that measure, and this is 1/4 inch. So if you were to try to go all the way around 1/4 inch, you would lose some fabric. You could just take and fold it over and kind of see how much fabric you think you need and then measure that, which is what I'm doing. So it's 1 3/4 inches should be adequate to go around this. So I need 4 1 3/4 inch pieces that extend beyond the actual piping. And you would normally only need it to be about a 1/2 inch bigger. But just in case, I'm going to go ahead and leave this as big as it is because of the day I've had. And I need to iron to get this to be nice and flat. But first I'm going to cut my pieces out so I don't have to turn the iron on again. This thing is bugging me. I don't need to cut that wire. I'm going to fold it in half to make it a little bit easier to manage. So that's 1, and then 2, a little cheating here, 3, and 4. Whenever we can cheat, we cheat, as long as it doesn't end up making it worse when we're done. So thumbs up if you're joining me in the VIP Saturday, whatever you want Claire to sew. And actually we should have the cameras all done, or my internet issue should be resolved. I've never been so quiet on a live feed, have I? I keep getting outvoted. I need a new blade. Know where I could get one? I'm going to start adding those to our site, by the way, as well. Maybe someone will want to buy your smaller one. You could do that kind of thing. Ask people inside of the school if anybody wants a deal on your smaller one, so you can trade up. Doesn't hurt to ask. I think I did it more than I needed to. I should just iron it instead of being, well, I just don't want to iron because I already put it all away. Oh, don't say that, Amy. I would have liked the dark as well. The yellow is going to be more festive, but I think that the brown would have been more classy. So really up to you. You're not bad at that. You need to talk more positively about yourself. You love the sewing machine scene? I'll give you another glimpse at, whoops, where'd it go? At this end while I iron this, because it's kind of boring. I'd say this is my favorite machine, but every time I do, I go, well, I really like the jungle one. Oh, I really like the sunflower one. So it's nice to have so many sewing machines all painted. We do want to start out with all of our pieces being the same width on this, by the way. And I managed to place the tripod for the camera right on my right on the iron's cord. So I'm having to kind of contort myself. Have any of you painted your machine yet? We do have a how to paint your sewing machine video, and there's a way you can join that on our inside of Create with Clare Rowley, which is my school. And if any of you are new to Creative Feet, I did just do a 6-hour like a pop-up show, like what I do when I go to a trade show, showing all of our products. And you can see the crowd of people that were around me at one of the shows, and people would hang out for hours. Sometimes they would say they spent the entire day in my booth. I don't know if that's true or not, but after going 6 hours showing you our products, I actually am thinking that they may have been telling the truth, that they were in my booth the whole day. Almost done doing this pressing out of these really, really old creases. If I had vinegar water, I could crease or remove these creases quicker. So you can have a spray bottle with some white vinegar and water in it, and it gets those really, really set in creases out much quicker. All right. I'm afraid to put this near my laptop, which is on the new side, so that you guys get a better view, and ultimately that will be perfected by next week. I'm hanging in there, you guys. Today did not start the way I thought it would. You want an elephant. The elephant is on the side of the jungle machine. I may do some how to paint your video shorts, just kind of show you a quick thing on how to paint something and give you a pattern. It's up to you guys. You guys kind of drive the school. You ask me what you want, and I try to make you all happy. We'll see if I can do that. I don't know if I can make you all happy at the same time, but I'm giving it a go. You enjoyed my booth, Cynthia? I missed you guys. I miss the hugs. It was always fun to be able to hug everyone at the shows. Thank you for hanging in there with me, Susan. You guys are something else, I tell you. And despite all the technical difficulties, there's been only like a couple thumbs downs on my live feeds on my YouTube channel, which blows my mind. And thank you all for hitting the like button. The more you hit the like button and the more you participate in the chat, the more YouTube thinks that our show is a good thing to have shared. And the more we're shared, the more viewers we have. And ultimately, the more we can give you in this free to you venue of being live on YouTube and in Facebook. All right, get the good ruler out, Claire. Quit trying to do it with that little one. We got the full length here. Here we go. Want them to be the same width. And as long as they're no smaller than 1.5 inches or 1/4 inch, we're good to go. 1 3/4 inch is the more forgiving. Notice I never lift it up until I know that I've cut it clean. Thank you for the virtual hug, Sandy. Everybody hug one another or hug yourselves. We will be able to come back. And know that the first thing I'll do before hitting the road is I will be offering live events in Prescott, Arizona, or Prescott if you live here. So there'll be 3-day events, and you guys will be hands-on on your own sewing machine. Once again, stand up when you're using a ruler. I think one of the first things I'm going to add to the site are rotary cutter blades. I don't know about how well those sharpeners work. I have one. Do any of you know if those sharpeners are good for the rotary blades, or should I not carry them? Okay, now I need to join these just like we do for binding on a quilt. And this is not batik. This is a regular cotton material. So it is going to be a stark difference to everything else. And this is, but still it bows to the wrong side. So right side is down. And odds are this is the wrong side again. Yep. So right side to right side, and then we turn it. And I will switch cameras so you get a better angle. The hold light is in stock, Larry. Does it show it's not? You're not the first one to say that. So now I think that our site may say that it's out of stock. I'm going to check really quick, because if that's the case, it's probably because we didn't list any of the inventory. Well, all of our stick and tear has been selling today. So let's see here. Stabilizers. It's the stick and rinse that is out. On our new site, you can see the inventory if it's an item we don't make. Why is that not going? Because you're using your cell phone. Yeah, it shows it's in stock. I'm going to share my screen really quick. Show you guys how to use that. So when you're on our site now and you click on any one of the stabilizers, this is the brand new site. It's only been open for 2 days. So if it doesn't look familiar to you, that's why. But when you click on Stick-and-Rinse, it says right below it says it's in stock. So I'm trying to think of what we don't have. We don't have all of the sizes of the Stick-and-Rinse. And the Stick-and-Rinse is our dolphin. Out of all three. I could have always shared my screen. And if you, I don't think we have any other sizes because it's far out from getting back in stock that we don't want to even show you what you're going to be able to get, but know that as soon as it's back in stock, we will announce it. So if you go to the threads, it's going to show you. Okay. So there's one we're out of. So you see how it says in stock. Color. You can also the alts for down. So sorry, you guys. Sorry about that. Chase, he's like, you came down here to see who's here. All right, back to the binding or piping. Are any of you wondering why I'm not using a bust? That was actually Chase. Tinker's a little growl, and sometimes you'll hear her, but most of the time it's Chase. So if you look at this, what we're going to do is we're going to sew with right sides together. So that's right side down and right side up. And I'm going to sew diagonally across from here to there. And I'll be doing that for all three of these to join them together with a mitered join so it doesn't stand out as much. Oh, he's just so upset that I didn't. When the doorbell rings, usually I go out, but don't you know that the doorbell actually rang this time? So I'm just doing some dots to lock that in place, and I don't want to do that. not what I wanted to do. It's the corner. I'm distracted by the dog. I hope you guys aren't. So a dot in the corner, a dot in the corner. And you can go across and do a couple more if you like. And then just kind of slide it across so that you don't have a big glob there. And then this side too. And then I'm going to draw using a iron away marker or pen. At some point, I may travel again. But right now, it's just out of the question because most of you guys wouldn't even show up at a show anyway. Draw a line across. And that is my stitching line to sew from that corner to that corner. And I'm going to let that one sit over there and dry while I get the next one ready. And this one's actually a salvage. Salvage on both ends. So I'm going to cut the salvage off. We got lots of salvages here, so I think I'm going to stack them all and chop them all off. Because remember, I had plenty. Had about 3 inches on both sides. Bigger than what I need. Okay, right side to right side. If it's overwhelming to join them all together before you begin, you could always just do one at a time. Sound is wonky. Hello. In answer to your question, I don't foresee any of the shows actually taking place live. Not in 2021. If you think about it right now, we're in March. And just to give you guys all an opportunity to help determine that, somebody give me, okay, there you go. Thank you. How many of you will go back? Or if there was a show today, how many of you would go to the show? Go ahead and just say yes or no for yes, you'd go to a show, or no, you would not go to a show. If a show opened today, or like next month, you could go next month. First of all, you got to remember, a lot of you have to go on planes and stay in hotels, and Karen would go. You're the first customer to say yes that you would go to a show. So you must have had your, is it because you got the vaccination? Do you feel like you would? If you say yes and it's because of the vaccination, do yes and then V, and I'll know it's because you got the vaccination and that you feel that way. Hey, we're doing our own little research. I think I'm going to just join these right now. I always draw a line. Even though I'm good at eyeballing, I still draw a line from one corner to the other. It's less stressful. All right. Going across. So I've glued 2 so far. I'll just do 2 at a time and then sew it. Because realistically, I would glue and then I would sew and then I would glue and then I would sew. And I actually should switch to a lighter color thread, but it's not going to be that noticeable. That's right. It's going to be on my couch. That may change how I feel about it. I didn't like the angle of this camera, so I'm going to change it. Is that in focus? I'm using a 9014 universal needle, by the way. And that's mostly because we're going to be going through a lot of layers of fabric. We got the back, which is in some spots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 layers thick. No, 4 layers thick in some areas. So now I'm going to draw from here to, or sew from there to there, using a straight stitch and center my needle so that it's on the line. Once that needle is on the line, then you can adjust the guide so that it's lined up with it as well. And on the diagonals, I always shorten my stitch length down to a 1.8 from a 2.0. Shorter stitch length is less likely to show, less likely to spread across if the fabric stretches. Oops, now my arm is in the way. We'll get this angle right. I didn't have a chance today to get that perfected. And then you just go like this, and you have a diagonal seam. And then you can open it up and cut 1/4 inch down. Or what I like to do is spread my fabric out. If I can. Where is it? So even though I had it glued, I can I can peel that apart with no sticky residue remaining. Pardon my reach, you guys. I was going to have my Blue Hornet presser out today, but I left it on my desk. And then press. So now you can see that that seam doesn't show as much over when it's folded over, even less. And do the same thing now on this one. And I don't really have to turn my hand wheel because the guide is already lined up with the stitching line. So is the other side a better angle, you guys? Nothing better than the cell phone right in front of me. So know that I am considering another camera other than the cell phone so that I can have a camera like right in front of me, in between me and the actual needle. Looking into what we can get that doesn't vibrate and shake. And those GoPros that are used for sports have this weird look about them. Las Vegas. I don't know. You guys are going to Vegas. So far only Karen, Sherry would go to. So 2 of you, well, it's starting to improve. Over since it started, I have been asking that periodically and no one said yes yet. So you guys are the first 2. That's good sign. But if there's a show and it still costs the same as it did before and you guys don't show up, you know, the dealers, the people that show up at the shows will just experience too much loss. A lot of the people that I know have retired, other show people. Of course, it was never in my intent to be a show person. I know that I am reaching more of you this way than I ever could at a show. So the best way for me to be live again would be to have private events so that you can actually be at your machines and really benefit then, because you're doing the sewing and then I can walk around and tell you what to do. That's what I started with when I first started. I actually taught in my parents' store. I was teaching machine use instruction. And that led to sewing machine repair, which led to inventing feet. That's the short version of my life story. So I would say that realistically, shows will probably come back next year. And probably Florida will be the first state to have a show. If they require you have the vaccination to fly, that's going to slow down the ability for us to do shows like that. So I'm just doing little dots on the 3 points that I did before. And this is me joining the 2 together that I already did. Your battery died, Brenda? Is my stuff spreading? I think we're doing pretty good, though, for having a cell phone. I have no idea until the playback. But know this, on the playback, I expect there not to be any lag, which would mean that if you're experiencing any lag in the cameras, like if I all of a sudden freeze up or kind of look like a bunch of pieces of color, or my mouth just stops in a very embarrassing position, then once we have the internet fixed and we're wired to all the cameras, that there shouldn't be any lag in the cameras after this. You got your first shot today. How are you feeling? So some of you have had one shot and some the other. And some had symptoms or issues and others did not. Yep, nothing better than the cell phone for this angle. Keeping my hand out of there this time. Whoops. Well, got to make sure foot's on the fabric or it's not going anywhere. I'm looking right over my microphone, so there's really nowhere for my face to go right now. So 1.8 on the stitch length when going across the diagonal. After you sew, you open it up. And if you cut and make it 1/4 inch on either side of this, it's actually more challenging for the sewing machine than for it to come up on a seam that far away from the actual stitching. And it's a very gradual movement over that, so you get a better experience. And unlike binding, where we would now fold it over, we're going to insert the cord inside. And it isn't faster to glue the cording. And I did do a dot of glue on each of these leading corners so that they don't flip up as I'm sewing around. So there's only one kind of iodine that you want to take internally, and that would be not the same as the one on, though I don't know how this conversation came up. So you should, because this is a sewing channel, feel free to ask me those kind of questions privately. There's reasons legally I should not allow a conversation medical to go on where we're talking about things that you take. But if you're all interested in my healthy, or my how I got all my hair back, because my hair was if you watch past videos, you'll see my hair was only like this short, and it was really kind of thin and breaking off. It's okay, Brenda. At shows, people would come up and go, let's talk about health. And we would talk about health. So you definitely have been in my booth before that you felt that way. You can also call me and I can help you with that. And if you're in the VIP group and people don't mind you bringing it up during that, I don't mind then, because that's a private thing. And I don't just do that. There are other reasons my hair is healthier than it ever was before. And I'm so grateful for it every day. I thank my lucky stars for getting it back, and all the other things about what I'm doing that make me feel healthier overall. So now, normally I would join these two ends together, but I would already know the size of the actual pillow, and so there would be just one big circle. Instead, I'm going to sew it in a more stress-free way. Turn that off and create the piping first. Here we go. See how this bends? And I can actually make a 130-degree turn on that, or 180-degree turn on that, or 360-degree turn, or any turn at all. I can go left, right, and it will bend. So this will form around any corner of any pillow perfectly fine. Now, will the fabric turn the corner? Well, it won't actually be able to turn that corner without clipping in the corner. But if we were to use a bias, we would still have to clip in the corners. And another issue would happen. If you sew bias binding or bias strips to a straight fabric, it gathers the bias. It actually becomes like elastic, and it causes the fabric to stretch. So the only time I use a bias fabric for piping is if I'm going to do a garment and we're going to go across, like for a Western shirt, and you come down with your piping, and then you're creating a actual cross the bias on the material you're sewing it to. So bias to bias, straight to straight. There are some really cool draping techniques that can be used with that. Yes, use a phone call. You can call me. Call me tomorrow if you like. But be really careful. Don't hurt yourself. The topical iodine is totally different and should only be used topically. So now I'm taking the cording and just like inserting it into this. And to make it even easier to handle, you could spray starch it with your iron. I'm not going to do that right now, but I would. Normally, I would have done it already. I just don't want to hear the alarm on that iron anymore. So I'm going to switch to the pearls and piping foot, because what I had on before was the Satinedge, and the pearls and piping foot has a tunnel that is way smaller than this cording is. But it's still going to let me sew it, and it will allow you to as well. Pretty amazing. It has to do with the way I designed this foot. The bottom of it is unique to any other. So you see, I didn't get one of the corners glued down, and that could cause me issues as I'm sewing. You haven't missed the show, Donna. You missed a lot of, oh my goodness. And remember, all of the shows are recorded, so you can watch on my YouTube channel afterward and on my Facebook. And know that on YouTube, I will eventually be cutting the front end of this off completely, so that when people view it, they come in when I officially started the show. Today was an interesting day, Donna. You missed out on all the, oh my goodness. So now the trickiest part is going to be getting that in there and holding it. Oh, man. Sorry, all of a sudden I had to cough, and I thought I could catch it before. The last time I muted myself and brought myself back, there was interference again on the microphone, so please let me know if that happened. Bye, Sherry. I'll be rewindable later, so you can see this little washer. Oh, you can't see it. Wrong camera. See this little washer that slides left and right? That gives you more needle positions to choose from. When it's all the way over to the left, it pushes the foot out this way and gives you more needle positions on this side. When you push the washer this way, it gives you more needle positions that way. And we don't necessarily know which side to put it on before you begin. Sorry, I had to cough again, and I drank some water, so hopefully that won't happen anymore. Okay, so the tricky part is getting this underneath the foot. And some of you, your machines wouldn't be able to handle this big, but you can use it for other size of piping. What governs or determines how big of a piping you can handle is how high the foot on your machine will lift or raise up so that you can get it beneath. Once it is beneath, then you're pretty much able to sew it, even though I can still pass scissors beneath the foot. So the feed dogs are feeding the cording, and it's the design of the foot that allows me to do this. Now I'm going to move my needle to the right needle position. And if your sewing machine can't get your needle to the right side of the cording, then you take the foot off and switch the washer to the other side, and it may give you exactly the needle position that you need. If your sewing machine does not have needle positions, you can purchase double needles like you see here. They come out from a center position, this being center, and you see how the needles spread apart. So depending on where you need your needle to be, you would put this up in the machine, and if it gets the needle to the side of the cording, then you cut off this left needle 1/4 inch down with a pair of wire cutters, wearing something over your eyes so that you don't end up hurting yourself. If you go any closer to the red plastic, then the whole needle breaks apart and is no longer usable. And that saves you from having to get a new machine if you want to sew piping and get your needle in that position. Now I'm lengthening my stitch length because a longer stitch length will pull further with each stitch, and this is very thick. So the sewing machine may need help, but you don't want to be pulling like you would traditionally do from behind the foot. You want the sewing machine to do the actual heavy lifting or the pulling for you. Make sure your cording is not stuck on anything. And that you center yourself with the needle, that you're in front of the machine. If you come down about 4 inches and then plant your finger, you'll be less likely to have the fabric shift on you like that and then end up with it looking kind of messy and your stitches there. But what you don't have to worry about is your needle not being right next to the cording. I went too far though in my needle position because I'm not sitting centered with my machine. So I'll show you the difference. And I may need regular pressure on this. You go to tighten my pressure up. It's too loose. If the pressure is too loose, it will slip instead of pulling that through for you. So it would have been easier to handle if I had a wider fabric. So it'd be 1 3/4 inches because this is really thick. Remember, this is 1/4 inch thick cording with a foot that can sew 16th inch beads. So it's not just for one size. Bye, Pearl. Bye, Susan. Bye. Thanks for hanging with me as long as you guys did. Enjoy your dinners. I'm sure you guys are, now that we're an hour later, or we didn't change. You guys changed because Arizona doesn't change. We're still going to maintain that 2 o'clock time slot because that's what we have branded the show with. And next week, I will be having a better experience than this. God willing, everything goes well. And this is where there's a join of fabric. And I really need to move this microphone so I can see where I'm going. So this is what I do. I kind of pull the piping out, and then I look to see that it's centered in there. And then I close it up and bring the two ends together. And just about 4 inches away from the foot. That's why I'm stopping and starting again. It might help to do this. Let me see. To just glue for 4 inches. As you go. Because my hands are been a little bit clumsy this week. I typed so many invoices in one night. We had a lot of catch-up work to do before we could launch the new site. And so, not so that you guys feel bad about anything, but one night I worked from, first of all, 8 in the morning till 5 at night. And then took the shipment and then joined up with my son afterward to finalize everything we needed to do to open the site. And we went from 6 o'clock until 4 a.m. That definitely was easier, you guys. So some dots of glue, and instead of gluing before you sew completely, just a little bit as you go, just kind of to pin without pins. No risk of the sewing machine needle being getting sticky either by not waiting for it to dry. Because if you've watched me at shows, you've seen me sew right through the glue wet all day long. Every year there's debate on time zones. Eva, is that who said it? Brenda. People trying to get the government to stop doing that. So it would be looking a lot better if I were sitting properly. I was actually messing with it, pulling. Let me see. Is my needle too far to the right still? I think it is. I'm not pushing. I'm just trying to keep these fabric edges together. Yeah, I was shaking and trembling, Donna, by the end. By 4 a.m., I was like, oh my goodness. And then we worked again until 1 a.m. again this week. So I think the marathon is over and the new site is doing really well. We have some glitches on email. So if any of you sent me an email through the contact form on our website, since we announced everything, please email me directly at info@creativefeet.com. Or better yet, we know for sure orders@creativefeet.com is working. It's one of our email accounts. I'm not getting the emails, so I don't know that you have reached out. Or if you're already a student in the school, you can always email me or connect with me in there easy by clicking on the icon or type Clare at the top, and it will, my profile will pop up, and then they have this thing that says say hello, and you can just say hello, and then you're talking only to me. Or call. You can always call on the phone. 1-800-776-6938 or 928-775-3484, which is on our website at creativefeet.com. Florida actually was going to go away from the time change. I don't think they get to do that on their own. I wonder who is in charge of that, because every country does it. So this is the whole world has to agree. I've had people from other countries complain about it as well. So daylight saving time is what they called it, right? So it's so that you get more hours of daylight in a day. Maybe it's better for your health to have more days, more hours of sunlight. Get more vitamin D. What are you talking about, Brenda? Not when I'm live. Oh yeah, you can't call me when I'm live. The phone is shut down when I'm live. It's funny because I'll say something and then you guys will comment and then I'll go, what are they talking about? You'll notice I didn't secure the end of that. And I didn't because I'm going to be pulling back on one side and folding under, and on the other side inserting the piping into the other end so that you have no beginning and no end of the piping. Just had to drink some more water. All right. Sloppy cushion. Now for positioning the piping into the pillow. And I'm almost done. Okay. I will have to address all this trim that I sewed onto my pillow. And should you want to sew the trim onto your pillow, if you have the Creative Feet, there's already instructions on how to sew pearls and how to sew sequins. No matter how you bought the foot, those are the basic instructions. So there's no reason why you can't add onto your pillow should you want to. And I know some of you probably are disappointed I didn't film it and show it. But I did do some short videos, and this is all about adding videos to our website. And I definitely did not glue enough on this side. It came off, so I'm going to re-secure that. Maybe I glued the same side twice because there's no evidence I glued. So did any of you make the Sunflower Rising Pillow top this week? I am so impressed that I'm able to create so many lessons, a lesson a week. This is only the second time I've had to do a part 1, part 2. All right. Another thing that I never do, and never say never because sometimes I do, but mostly I do not start on a corner. I start in the middle of a pillow. Excuse me. And since I have all of this to deal with and I may forget, I'm leaning towards starting on the side with all of the trim so that I don't forget and then have issue when I go around to the other side. Now we'll switch cameras. If I have to cough again, it's probably that I'm having an asthma attack and I may have to take a moment. In fact, I know that's what's going on. So let's see. What can I give you to look at? What can I give you to look at while I go? I'm going to leave it there because it'll only take me a minute to go get it. And you guys can chat. And if anyone pops in and goes, "Where's the host?" you can let them know I'll be right back. almost done, Chase. Okay. I'm better. All right. It's that time, right? Spring has sprung and allergies have begun. I think what I'm going to do to address this pillow is I'm going to clip every corner. And the areas that I glued. And these are the Clip It clips. It's a good time to buy them. They're already more affordable than the Magic clips. Easier on your hands. But more affordable today because of our sale at creativefeet.com, which is coupon CF, as in Creative Feet, all uppercase, CF 15, those being numbers, off. And I did not cut this very well. So I'm going to cheat. Here we go. Clip. Don't want to clip too much because we're just going to have to unclip. That's just to kind of be extra hands. There we go. Okay, so I didn't clip this whole side because this is where I'm going to start. Got to think it through because we're going to be bringing this end together with the other. When we come around, we're going to insert one into the other like that right here. So just to double check to make sure I didn't mess up. Clip that, and we'll see if we got enough to go all the way around. And we're going to go around with the opposite way. We're going to go around like this with the raw edges all together. 1, 2. And 3 and 4, and we got a lot more than we need. So we are fine. We don't have to worry. I love this fabric too. I got super excited when I saw it. I wasn't even there to buy fabric. Oh, I didn't buy it at Joann's. I bought it at Hobby Lobby. That's where I was. Sorry about that. Gave you the wrong information. I have a whole stack of fabric that I bought from there. If you want, afterward, I can grab the stack and kind of show you which ones I bought. Because, doing something every week on the show, I'm needing to add to my stash. It's never a bad time to add to your fabric stash, is it? Whoops. Okay, well, we have a runaway spool. You can also bind a quilt with piping, by the way. Well, I clicked the wrong button. But when you use this for binding on a quilt, and all the wedding ring quilts used to be bound with piping, we would sew the piping to the front of the quilt first, and then flip it over and then tuck in the bottom of the quilt and stitch in a ditch from the top and hope that you caught the bottom fabric. But with the pearls and piping foot, you can stitch in a ditch from the back, knowing that you're catching the back fabric. And because it keeps the needle right next to the piping. It was a really exciting thing that happened or was discovered during the beginning of the Creative Feet, when everyone was testing them to their limits, different educators like Nancy Zeman. Just to name one, because there's so many. and I don't want to leave anyone out. And I get emotional because some of them have passed away, like Nancy. So here we go. I have it loose in here, just attached to the top, and I'm coming up on where I have a bunch of beads and sequins. So I'm going to sew up to that point. And I will be securing the beginning and the end of this stitching line. So coming up on this, don't want to break your needle on all those rhinestones that are in there, or destroy the rhinestones. So I'm kind of inching my way. Okay, this is definitely where the danger is on this one. And this is where I will walk the sewing machine, which is do a stitch by hand, turning the hand wheel with my hand, and then lift the foot, move it a stitch, kind of feeling, I'm still not there yet. Do another stitch. Kind of going slow, because if you feel the needle hitting the rhinestone, you know what's going to happen. You're going to destroy the rhinestone or break your needle on that. Now this is a sequin, and I can sew through the sequin. I don't believe anything else that I stitched can damage your sewing machine needle. Just the rhinestones were the scary trim. Trying to show you that in focus, but the camera is focused over here. Drive carefully. Yep, I want to drive careful over this. You're probably talking to somebody else, but whoopsie, I totally put the foot wrong down. I didn't put it back down on the cording. All right, I'm coming up on a sharp turn in the road. You found it? $12.99 a yard, is that what I paid? They had a 30% off coupon, which is the only reason I took advantage of it. We can sell fabric here. And so I plan to. We'll be doing kits at some point. So instead of cutting straight toward your seam, I cut at an angle. It's less likely that it's going to tear then if it experiences a lot of stress. But that's what we're in essence doing. On every corner, you want to clip like 3 clips before the corner and 3 clips after. And if you have those snips pointing in the direction that they're going to actually, in other words, I should have brought my clips going this way, point toward the corner. It even bends easier. So like 3 clips before, 3 clips after. And you just want to test and see, can you actually turn that corner? And this is why a lot of my pillows, I don't have them actually be a corner. I have them curve, and I actually cut the fabric on the curve to help me navigate my way around the actual corner. This takes a little bit of finagling, figuring out where you want to keep it. Let me see, a ruler would be good. You want to keep it the same distance from raw edge to the piping at that corner. So that's your goal, is to make sure that you don't have the piping suddenly go in further on the pillow or out further towards the raw edge. So you're governing based on your raw edge here, and then you want to line up your raw edge up here as well so that it's right on the edge. And then you know that you'll have a nice corner when you get there. And this would be a time to clip or just keep your finger planted. You will get better at finger planting. And then when you reach the corner, you're going to lower the needle. It's one of those few times when I do. Lift the foot, turn it a little, do 1 stitch, and lower the needle. Lift the foot, turn it a little, down, and do a stitch. Well, I'm wearing shoes today, so I'm not as good at stopping. And then lift and turn. Remove that clip. Coming back to the danger zone. Need to drive slow again. And Sandy, you're going to be making things to sell, right? You can get a Hobby Lobby wholesale or a resale account, and you get special pricing on stuff and don't have to pay sales tax to them. So any of you that make money from your sewing know that that is something that you can do. You have to go in there with your tax ID information, but it definitely pays to do that. Any way you can make more profit, the better. Coming up on the dangerous stuff again. Keep my mind focused. Where is it? Where are those rhinestones? There they are. Right here. Okay, so I really don't have to worry till there. I'd still go slow on the sequins, and you can only sew through the plastic ones. So if they're metal sequins, you should not just stitch over them. I'm ungluing so I can see. You won't have to do this because you will not have already put beads on there unless you decide to be brave. But this is how you can make more money from making your stuff and selling it, is by offering things that are sewn with things that seem very expensive, like rhinestones. So it looks like I got an inch to go, or a half inch maybe, before I need to walk it. And now I'm going to walk it again. I can feel it. They're right here. That's within about a rhinestone's distance of my needle getting damaged if I go too quick. I'm getting lucky. There you go. So I definitely would have broken my needle. So I can lift and hop, get past that rhinestone. And now the rest is easy. And we're going to repeat that clipping on every corner. You can always reglue something that when you take it apart, should you want to. I really got to move this mic and sit centered. I'm so far off. I don't know. I may have to go around again just to clean it up. I'll know when I'm done here. I know some of you really enjoy it when I make mistakes and stuff, but I prefer not to. You can buy t-shirts all plain, use the inks, do some type of artsy thing on there, add applique and rhinestones and pearls and sequins. And it was actually a big trend when I first released my feet. People were doing sweatshirts and mixing leather and laces. And then they used fabric paint because we didn't have the inks back then. And they were getting a lot more money for their shirts than just a shirt that had paint on it. Just adding the pearls alone, and it only takes a few seconds to add beads of any kind or chain or any kind of wire round trim that you have. Coming up on the corner. I definitely have really messed up something. Unless I was supposed to trim this after. It's way off. Oh, I know what's happening. It's like gathering. I'm pulling it out because I'm not going to mess up to that extent. I'm going to look at it and let you guys see what happened, and I know why. I have my stitch length a little bit too long. So what happens if you have your stitch length too long is it will start to gather the fabric that you're sewing it onto. And it was fine going this way because we're with the grain. And then when you go against the grain, well, then it's stretchy. So I really need to remove the stitches on this part here. And you can see what happened is it actually became smaller. Or it's that when I glued and then pulled it apart, I don't have it lined up the right way here. So that's what made this grow so much. First, this fabric gathering because the length was too long. And this fabric, well, I didn't put them back together right. So that is not the way you should remove your stitches. It's just the fastest way. Try this again. Do you see what happened there? So I just need to put that back where it belongs, which is like that. And a 3 on my stitch length instead of a 5. So it won't gather. Good night, Brenda. Thank you guys for staying with me. Those of you who are still in here. Was it the 80s? Let's see. 1989 was when I released the Creative Feet to the world. And it was definitely earlier than that when this trend was going on. I got to pay attention. I'm coming up on the rhinestone. I have already broken 2 needles in my series of Fabrically Speaking, and I prefer not to do that anymore. Twice is enough. So the stitch length is back down to 3, making sure my overlap is overlapped correctly, and now keeping it together, not pushing. Let the machine do it. This is a 3 length. And it's working out fine. It's not puckering anymore. Keeping those raw edges together. That's why sometimes you want to go further than 4 inches, but 4 inches is the magic number to keeping these fabrics together and then planting your finger. That's all I'm really doing is keeping these fabrics together because they're not glued. Coming up on the corner. Well, where I will clip again. Mistakes are only unintentional teaching moments. Lower the needle. I should have stopped sooner. So clip. I'll hop back. Definitely works better if you clip at the angle, the right angle, the correct angle. Come on. I have had the clumsiest. I should not talk about it. We are not going to be clumsy anymore. Another thing that can happen, because the foot is so high, or raised so high by the thickness of this cording, is that what just happened was my machine let me know that my presser foot was up, not actually down. Let me get around this corner and then I'll explain that better. So lots of little walking so that we have a nice smooth looking corner. So to explain that better, the foot's sitting on top of this cord, and the cord, remember, is so thick that the foot is actually not down on the machine. It's sitting on top of that, and like a rooftop, it's balancing over the cord. It's one of the reasons that you can sew so many sizes of cording. So as you're sewing, if you sew and you raise the foot, you can bring it back down, and it's actually down. I can't even pull the fabric out, except for the foot is not really down. Now it's down. So if you were to sew with this foot and get big loops on the bottom of your material, it is because you thought the foot was lowered, and maybe it was, but the presser foot bar had not actually been lowered. And now it should be easy going. And I'm wondering where my 16th inch pillow form is that I would have gotten ready. Definitely not a good camera angle because I tend to put my hand over here. May switch back to the other side after today. It's all about keeping those raw edges together. I didn't get a chance to pre-wash this fabric either. Going against my rules of... What is going on? I'm not centered again. Well, it's going to look what it's going to look like. Turn it right side out here and see. And it seems like everything went wrong, but it didn't. See how pretty? It's kind of good to give yourself a little reassurance and peek before you go all the way around. You guys are quiet. My machines just sound so loud when I lean against them. So it is not lining up the way I like. There we go. Needle down. Oh, sorry that my hand's in the way again. Okay, next week we'll go back to the camera being on the other side. So give your sewing machine the little love pat to make sure that you are your foot is lowered. We're coming up on this area where the flap is pointing in that direction, so I'm trying to keep myself aware of that. And I'll do the little hop or walk the sewing machine. And as I'm sewing, I'm watching the front of the foot, by the way. This is where you can tell the sound of the machine. Well, maybe not, but it sounds heavier. And that's why I'm using a 9014 universal needle. You can hear that pounding through. Getting ready to clip again. So 3 clips on both sides and then a clip down the middle. And then keeping those edges lined up with the edge of the material beneath it so that you are maintaining the same seam allowance. And the foot itself is what keeps you in maintaining that seam allowance, the tunnel on the foot. You like the camera on this side? Maybe I just need to, I don't know. I will have more time to play with it now that our new website is open and there's less work for me to do. Perfecting the show, that's what it's all about, so that we can open the Creative Feet Extensive before summer. So I'm coming up on where I need to overlap the two pipings together. And I know that I can sacrifice. I really messed up on the length of this. I'll probably just cut 1 too many strips. But I can definitely sacrifice like 6 inches of this, so it's easier to handle. Now it's shorter. But we're coming up on this, and I could have given myself a little bit more room to work. So remember I said I wasn't going to tie a knot at this end so that I could open it up and adjust it. I think I did, though. I said it, but I didn't do it. None of you told me. As long as you feel like you can see better, because... All right, seam ripper. Yeah, I did secure it. I should be wearing my glasses. Oh, I know why I can't see them, because they're in the caddy. And I moved it too far away from me. All right, I'm going to disconnect this from the machine, secure this over here, so you can see better what I'm doing. Because this is the most important, or one of the coolest things about doing a pillow this way. They used to teach you to cross your piping like this, one over the other, and then so over the bump, and then you'd end up with this on the outside, this little V shape of the piping. So to eliminate that, and I came up with this in the 90s on how to do this. I'm sure I'm not the only educator that figured it out on their own without learning from someone else. All right, you guys win. The camera will stay on this side. I will just get a better angle. Or we just need one more camera. So I'm going in here, and then you cut that cord out. And it helps if you cut it at an angle instead of just straight across, just like we miter the fabric when we were cutting those seams or when we were joining them. Kind of bringing it at an angle. Does this kind of remind you guys of binding? That last part, getting those things to join back up? My only concern is that I may need to adjust this after, because I did such a poor job sitting straight. So we want to take it in that far. We'll see. Make sure that it's coming straight from the pillow. And we're almost right. I can cut another 1/4 inch off. Okay, it's in there. Now what we do is fold under that end and kind of tuck it in there. And with my eyes on what I'm doing, I'm not sure you guys saw that I fold under this fabric here. See how, so it has a nice clean edge. If you don't know that your foot can lift higher than just being raised, know that it can. And it's a good time for me to bring that up. So when you raise your presser foot, you usually lift the foot, and some of you may even have a button you push that raises the foot, but the foot doesn't actually lift off of this cording because it's too thick. So when you raise the foot to get it to where you can slide the piping beneath the foot, you pull up on the lever and hold it up there as you bring the trim beneath it, or the foot, whatever it is you're sewing that is thick underneath the presser foot. Oh, get back to that other camera angle. Don't want to undo what I just did. Coming up on those trims. And to show you guys how you handle sequins, rather than having all of that dangle inside of there, you take and you flip your sequins upside down so that you see the string side. And you'll kind of see some of them are already falling off of the string. Tinkerbell just sneezed. It's so cute. What you want is these little threads that go crisscross around the big thread, and you just kind of pull them out, keeping the sequins upside down like this. Get your finger, get something underneath it, and you just pull out and see how they just start falling off. Make sure you don't drop them inside of your sewing machine. Once again, pull those little threads. If you try to cheat, it's going to slow you down. It's the kind of thing that you give your kids to do, or grandkids. Yes, putting a clip at that cord section is perfectly fine. I'm at this point, I'm just, the start of the day was too stressful, so. But I'm okay. I was like, what am I supposed to do if I don't have the internet? I can't go live. And then I went, I wonder if my cell phone can do it. So if you're watching and the camera quality is not as high as you would like, know that it's because I am powering this from my cell phone, this whole feed with 3 cameras. So it's that big cord that we can completely lose. But you got to do it in the right order. You have to remove the sequins first. I'm almost there. And I always do like 4 inches of thread. And there's a reason for that. The reason I always leave at least 4 inches of thread, so I can take a hand sewing needle, thread the thread through the needle, and stitch it to the fabric so that the sequins will never come off. So you hadn't seen piping being brought together like that before, Eve? That's great. I'm glad that you guys have learned something new. It works well with the small piping as well. It is how I joined the end of this piping, because I showed you guys how to use the pearls and piping foot for this caddy, or what did I call it? I called it a table organizer. So there's an end there somewhere, but you can't find it. Okay, we're down to the last sequin. And this is in the Creative Feet Techniques video, I'm pretty sure. But it will definitely be in the extensive course. It's these little threads that matter the most, that are coming off the sequins. The big one you can lose. But no sense, if you're sewing in a pillow, to not just take all of these trims or all the threads and tie a knot. You want to make sure that that sequin that's about to come out, like I said, my fingers are definitely tired from typing this week. I've been doing hand exercises, which I can show you guys here afterward if you want to see what I do for my hands. But I would pull that knot all the way up to here and then clip the corners of your pillow as well. But first I'll turn it right side out and see if I need to clip. You guys are sticking it out with me. Thank you so much. Hi, Donna. Welcome. We lost one Donna and we gained another Donna. It's so pretty. I'm going to really enjoy having this in my living room. See, almost always I would just sew things at shows and never end up making anything. People go, oh, you must have so many items that are sewn. I go, I've got lots of little squares that I've sewn. What about a cell phone? Oh, that I'm powering the whole show with a cell phone. There you go. It's perfect. It didn't look like it was going to be perfect. And that'll happen as you sew with this. Isn't that stunning, you guys? I love it. Do you want me to find my pillow form and put it in there for you so that you can see it done? Thumbs up if you want me to look for my pillow form, or if seeing this is enough. And if you want, I'll bring it up close so that you can see how pretty it is. Which camera would be better for that? I think this one. See? Nice rounded corners, no puckers. Stitch right along the edge of the cording on both sides. All the way around. I'm not hiding any mistakes. I need to get in there and push this out. There we go. And that one might need a little clipping to help it lay perfectly flat. But here we have the insertable pillow. It's a 16-inch pillow form. I'm just going to go get it, and I'm going to give you something to read. Just in case there's something that I need to tell you that I'm just not aware of, because I haven't inserted a pillow form inside of a pillow in a while. Be right back. Get your questions ready. I'm in the room. I'm almost there. I'm so short. I don't know if I can reach this. Excuse me, you guys. Hi, cheese. Mommy's almost done. Oh, it's even prettier than when I left the room. So these are some pillows that have seen better days. And they did not have a reclosable end on them. So I had to stick them in the washing machine, and they're lumpy, and I don't know what's inside. And at this point, they're too bumpy for me to enjoy to use them as an inside. You can see I saved it because this is ultra suede, or maybe even real suede. So it's all lumpy and it's not in anything. So ugh. This is why we use pillow forms. Now it's not the cheapest way, but if you have an old pillow and it hasn't been made too lumpy, or if you have, if you can open it up and it is a pillow form inside, then you can use your old pillow. We want to get into the bottom layer first. Shoving it in there. As a reminder, we are giving away some $100 gift cards to creativefeet.com. Review products that you like on our site, and the more times you comment, the more your chances to win increase. Yeah, so this is I think this is a 14-inch pillow form. Oh my goodness. I'm just loving this, even on both sides. You know who will end up taking over this pillow? Chase. He loves pillows. There you go. All done. Next time you're at Joann's and you have one of those 50% coupons, you should snag yourself some pillow forms so that you have what you need to have a really nice pillow, and know that you never have to wash that pillow form with the pillow, so your pillow foam won't get all lumpy inside. I'm going to check the chat, see if any of you have any questions, and then we're going to call this one done. Some cartoon character says, by the hair of my chinny chin chin, I managed to get through with a complete internet outage using just my cell phone. And so now we have finished season 2, episode 11, without having to say we couldn't go live. Now I know what to do should we ever have another internet outage. So I call this pillow Sunflower Rising, and the pattern is inside of the school, Create with Clare Rowley, and the link to that is in the description below. If you liked watching this video, I sure hope you'll hit that like button in YouTube and whatever you can do in Facebook. And if you have yet to subscribe to my channel, I sure hope you'll do so today. I'm going to look. You guys are talking about vaccination still. Yeah, isn't that pretty? So if it gets flipped over on the couch, I'm not going to mind that at all. I'm definitely going to make another one, and it won't have any beads or sequins on it. I'll probably keep this one as a sample in here. So still no, most 99% of you will not attend a show right now, which is why there are no shows right now. In addition to the fact that there's city regulations all over the country and you can't really travel easily. So as soon as we stop talking about the virus, I would say that's when you'll start seeing the shows. You want to see the back close? So it sticks up a little bit, and you could have a button and buttonhole there. But even when I pick it up and like stretch it out, see how you still just see the sunflower fabric and not the pillow form? So let's see. I will. Which camera? This camera. Nope. This camera. They all look the same with the same pillow. This is the back. So you can see the piping is great all the way around the back and the front. Because I wasn't steering. Where's that join? See how I can't even find the join? Oh, there it is. So there's the join. Is that enough of the back for you to get the idea? So your hands are able to insert into it. We did all of the prep for the back side was already filmed. If you came in after I did that, know that you can rewind this as soon as we stop being live. And you can pick up anywhere along the video that you would like. I love both sides too, Sandy. I think it was meant to be because Terry needed something. Oh, yeah, she's making a puzzle. And my friend Terry's my friend who's paralyzed on one side. And I was like, I'll take you to the store and we'll figure out something that helps you do puzzles. Because she took all the pieces out on her table and they were all spread out and she had nowhere to build the actual puzzle. So we went to the store and we got boards and then I don't remember how we ended up in the fabric area, but it's me. So, I was going to show you all my fabrics. Do you want to see them all? Not a lot, but this one caught Terry's eye. Let's see here. And the reason I spent so much is because, well, I can never just buy like a fat quarter. I usually will go, how many yards do you think are on the bolt? But this is the one that caught Terry's eye. And while I love this fabric, I just don't know what I would use it for. I will switch cameras as I unstack it. Hold it up for you. So I got this for the show to do different things and also to finish my quilt for my bed, the one that you're all waiting for, so that I can teach you how to quilt a king size quilt. I had to get this. This is my favorite color, in case you can't tell by most of my branding. I love the teals. This one made another lady take the bolt and she bought the rest. So the two of us bought all of this. I loved it. And then Easter's coming. I have something planned. And isn't that one pretty? All I can tell you is I'm as bad as you guys when I got fabric in front of me and a coupon. Another teal. This one. Don't you just want it? I mean, yeah, I'm very partial to batiks. I know that some of you might be frustrated with me just showing batiks lately. And I promise that I won't only do batik fabric. Another one. We're going to start carrying fabric too, so that you don't have to look for it if you want to make the exact same thing that I'm making. This is going to be used on my quilt. because I didn't have enough fabric to finish it. That's partly why I'm not done with it. Oh, I just love these colors. And then I know there's a lot of you that love purple. And this one is a blending of all of those together. Oh, it's just so drippy with color and excitement. I can't see your feed is blocked by something. So, and this also will help me finish my quilt. I tend not to put enough solids or light materials in quilts. And after I start piecing everything together, I go, something's wrong. Something's wrong with this quilt. And it's that there's enough light, solid fabrics. Any of you have that same tendency? I stirred up some of the batting. Okay, gotta go. Bye, Sharon. All right, I will unfold or fold it all back up using this camera. I love the print in this one. It has a very subtle leaf pattern going through it and some flowers that you can't really tell. And then this one. As I fold my fabric, if you have any questions, now's the time to write them because I'm about to sign off and enjoy dinner. And I hope that you guys aren't starving because you didn't eat from watching me. Yeah, Batiks and I get along fine. I was talking to one of the ladies at the fabric store, and she's just like, those are pretty, but I never use batiks. Oh, what kind of sewing do you do? Or she goes, you're probably a quilter. Quilters like batiks. I said, I'm a everything sewer. But I do love my batiks. They make great fabrics for summer, for making outdoor tablecloths. Oops, I hit that microphone. Sorry about that. Oh, and somebody that, if any of you do charity sewing, can you please like hit me up inside of the school and let me know? We are wanting to connect with different charitable organizations and help you guys connect. After all the COVID and not being able to get fabric, it's I was actually thinking that would make a really pretty mask, wouldn't it? If we got to make another mask. And then this is the Minky. And she's like, make Tinkerbell a bed. I'm like, well, maybe I'll make Tinkerbell a bed for my table so she can be on top of the table. And there we go. The reason we all joined here together to finish the pillow. I feel like resting my head on this pillow right now. All right, you guys, I've enjoyed chatting with you. Remember, if you're in the VIP group in Create with Clare Rowley, which is my online school, it's free to join the school, but the VIPs pay to have special live events with me. And this Saturday at 11 my time, and I am currently the same as California, at 11 my time, we will be going live. And at that point in time, if you have any kind of sewing technique or anything that you want me to sew, that is when I will just on demand sit here and sew for you. And you guys get to come up on the screen as well and get to know one another with video. If you want, you do not have to, but it is a lot more fun when I get to see you guys on the video as well. If you want to know how to join the VIP, it's in the creator groups. So look for the groups and you'll see the heart, which says VIP on it. I got all those at Hobby Lobby. Yes, Sandy, all in the same spot. And I had to eat. I was really hungry and I went there anyway, and it took forever for them to ring it up. How much did I buy in yardage? You guys are nosy. It's heavy. One of them was 6 yards. This one I got 6 yards of this one. But all of them are at least 2. Most of them are 3-yard cuts. How much do you guys buy when you buy yardage? Do you just buy a yard? Or do you ever go, how much is on the bolt? I need to have all of that, I think. You love the VIP group, Sandy? Thank you. I'm so glad. I'm trying really hard to make it fun for you guys. All right. It is all yummy. And I am starving, and I'm going to make something yummy. I've been working on losing weight and cooking at home. So, liking the changes in my body, and I'm going to have something very healthy for myself right now that I've already made. So I just have to heat it up and hang out with the puppies. Maybe we'll all cuddle with the new pillow. Thanks for watching, everyone. And the ending is always a little challenging for me to figure out how to end without going goodbye and then goodbye again. If you're watching and you don't know about the Creative Feet, they're also available on creativefeet.com in special packages so that you get all 3 feet. Today, you saw me just use one. No, you saw me use 2, the Satinedge and the Pearls and Piping Foot. And both of them are included in each of these specials that you see on the screen. Remember to go to our brand new website. It just opened 2 days ago, and this is March 18th, 2021, if you're watching on the replay. If you have not joined the VIP group, this is what it looks like. You see the little heart that says VIP, and see that butterfly? That was 2 weeks ago. I showed you how to embroider that on a t-shirt. And the VIP group members got the actual pattern. Now, when I started out with a different design. And so I created the pattern while embroidering it and then afterward drew it. So if you are a VIP member and you don't already know that the patterns, the free patterns, are located under the topics, and that is true of all of the groups. There's a lot of free groups in my school as well. So inside of topics is where you will find the patterns. And this is the shirt that I embroidered live from start to finish 2 weeks ago. So if you want to learn how to embroider with your regular sewing machine using just a straight stitch, be sure to check that video. If you type in the playlists area, if you go to my YouTube channel, if you're not already there, there's playlists, and you go by playlists and look for Fabrically Speaking. And in Fabrically Speaking, you'll see this butterfly. And then you can watch it and learn how to do that. I guess that's it. I said everything I need to say. So I'll see you guys next Thursday at 2, unless you're a VIP, and I'll see you on Saturday. Love you all. Bye.